Hey, what's going on everyone? Monado Max here, and today we are back with my Nintendo Switch, and we're doing our favorite videos, which is talking about third-party games on the Nintendo Switch. This is our 5th episode doing a top 10 list when it comes to third-party games. We've talked about 50 third-party Nintendo Switch games. These videos have always been some of my most popular videos that I've made on the channel, with the very first part about to be my top video on this channel, which is mind-blowing to me. Coleman, my editor, is going to show the thumbnails of the whole series. If you guys have not watched that yet, definitely check it out. It mind blows me that this is a series that people keep coming back to the channel, keep being hungry for it. It makes me excited because I love playing third-party games. I love finding the good, the bad when it comes to Nintendo Switch third-party ports. It's a great discussion. Love doing these videos, and I'm so excited to talk about yet another 10 games that are amazing for the Nintendo Switch when it comes to third-party games. Now, sit back, enjoy. We're going to be diving into a lot of unexpected games, a lot of expected games, because a lot of you guys pointed out some missing titles that I didn't have in the last part, but we're doing it now. We're getting some of those games. So let's go ahead and drop into number 10. Coming in, number 10 is going to be a little bit controversial, but I need to show this off because I spent $30 for this terrible joke that I made in one of my Christmas specials, and then I've done nothing with this game ever since. So I'm late to the party with this. This should have been something that was like in the first part of the series, but we're doing it. This is going to be the only weird game that you guys are going to be like, why did you put that there? Coming in, number 10 is Among Us. Okay, hear me out, guys. Among Us for the Nintendo Switch. I mean, everyone still plays Among Us. It's a great game. It's great. It's a great multiplayer online game. If you have no friends, you have no reason to buy that game.
I guess you have no reason to play it then, Max.
There is not enough single-player content for you to spend $5, I think is what it is, digitally. I think I paid $40 for a physical copy. I'm an idiot. I did some stupid joke for my Christmas special, but it's honestly a very fun game if you can get the right amount of people with you. I think you have a max of 15 players. You're basically a murder mystery game. I don't have to explain what Among Us is. Among Us was at one point one of the most popular games. It was more popular than I think Minecraft at one point in the COVID timeline. So get Among Us, pretty fun game. I would not recommend the physical copy. I just bought it as a joke because why is there a physical copy for Among Us? A $5 game gets a physical copy. But yeah, I've never opened it because I already have it digitally. It's $5 and I think it goes on sale for like $2 like all the time. So it's well worth your time, especially if you have players. Let's get on to the other games because I know more people are going to be more interested in the 9 other games. Wow, I'm so glad that I got to show this off in another video. I'm putting my $40, well, I'm using my $40 very well now. Coming in, number 9. This might be a controversial take what I'm about to say, but I think this game is way better than Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And that game is Temtem. Now, I have just started playing this. I'm about 2 hours into the game, just because I've been wanting to play a good Pokemon game for the Switch. In my opinion, the only 2 good Pokemon games on the Switch are Pokemon Let's Go and the Pokemon Legends Arceus. Those are the only good Pokemon games, and I've already played those. I want to experience something new, so I'm playing this right now. But there is a little bit of some disappointing things, which we're going to go over in just a second. But first of all, this is a online multiplayer Pokemon ripoff, basically. It is very much Pokemon inspired. It's like one of those fan-made games that you would find like a decade ago when you guys were like looking for free Pokemon games online, and you know how people would make their own fan-made Pokemon games? This is basically that, but they have their own characters, their own creatures. It is very much like Pokemon, and it looks and runs amazing on Nintendo Switch. It runs better than Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Why that's even a thing? This game should not be running better than Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. It's a third-party game. I think an indie team made it, which nothing wrong with indie games. It's just the fact that an indie game is doing a Pokemon game better than the Pokemon team. Bro, Pokemon Company, Game Freak, you need to get on it. Maybe buy this team. This was a very fun game. Some of the disappointing things about this, though, is you have to be connected online at all times because it's an MMO. In case you guys don't know, it's a massive multiplayer online game. So you're going to be encountering players. You don't have to do anything with them, but you have to be online at all times, which is a little bit disappointing because this game does have a story mode. It is a single player game, but you're forced to have online on at all times. So whenever those servers shut down, this game is bye-bye, and you have to have Nintendo Switch Online. So this is a $45 game, plus you gotta buy Nintendo Switch Online. So this is coming out to be like a $60 game. And I try my best to not get all the $60 games into one video for you guys, because I look at these videos as, you know, price guide kind of, in times. I try to be reasonable with the prices with these games. But if you're wanting a Pokemon experience and not have been happy with the recent Pokemon games, look at Temtem, because it's well worth it. Coming in number 8 is 2 Point Campus. Now this was a very interesting Nintendo Switch release. I don't know if the other platforms got this, because I believe this game has already been out on PlayStation and other platforms for a while. The Switch version came late, just as always. When it came out, you got this little nice box with it. It came with like an art book and all that cool stuff. I thought that was pretty nice. They didn't have to do that, but they did it anyways. It was pretty cool, pretty cool. But 2 Point Campus, I'm not gonna lie, I struggled to understand the game at first, and then I understood it later. It just took me way longer than it should have. I felt like an idiot playing 2 Point Campus, but once I got through it, I was having fun, and if I had more time, I would be putting a lot of hours into 2 Point Campus. I believe this game is $30, if I'm correct. It's basically a My Sims clone, or My Sims, just a Sims clone in general, but for Nintendo, a little bit different. You're making your own campus. It's very interesting. You're taking care of students, you're making the students happy, adding things to the campus, bring in money, make sure you're profiting, hiring people. So a little bit different than Sims, but it has very similar Sims gameplay, if that makes sense. This is a very interesting game with some of the things that you can do. One thing that I thought was interesting, like that I just wasn't expecting this game to do. So you have to hire a janitor at one point in the game, because you have to build bathrooms into the game. I wasn't expecting them to have like a whole dedicated gameplay feature of the game talking about having a clogged toilet. So this game can be pretty funny at times. It's just random, some of the things that are happening in this game. And I am very excited to play more of it, because I know the game gets further and further deep into some other things that I'm very excited to play. So if you want Sims on the Switch, which I don't know why EA has not been putting that on the Switch. They've been starting to develop games for the Switch, but they're putting games that people really did not want. Like, I don't know. I feel like all their big games that would go well on Switch are not on the Switch yet, and it's idiotic moves from EA. But 2 Point Campus is worth your time and worth your money, and is number 8 on the list. Coming in number 7 is a game that a lot of you guys got mad at me for not talking about in my top 10 horror games for Nintendo Switch, but at the time I had not played this yet. Now I have, and I'm with you. I wish I would have put this on the Switch also. Number 7 is Fatal Frame Maiden of Blackwater. Now this game, it immediately got hooked onto the game when I saw the opening of the game, when you hit start game, because that was an interesting opening. I am a big horror fan. I don't talk about it much, but I love horror. That's why I have so many horror games on my Nintendo Switch. That's why I have an $100 edition of Outlast, because I love Outlast so much. But Fatal Frame, very interesting game. I know this was a game that came out on the Wii U, the Maiden of Blackwater one. I don't know how many Fatal Frame games there are, so I don't know where this fits in the Fatal Frame timeline, so this is the only Fatal Frame I have played. But this is well worth your time. This game has a very dark story that immediately gets dark very fast. Talks about things that I just wasn't expecting. And the gameplay features, they're unique when it comes to defeating ghosts. You can see how the Wii U gamepad was used on this game. And I'm surprised they were able to implement the game still with how important the Wii U gamepad was. But they did it very nicely. And I think this is on other platforms. I'm kind of interested in playing it on other platforms. I think graphically it looks great. I was streaming it for one of my friends. They felt like the graphics weren't that great. I didn't run into any frame rate issues with the game. But I mean, there's no graphics improvement that, from my understanding, from the Wii U version. So it's kind of just like a remaster, just a flat port, basically. There's no physical copy in America. Now, I know a lot of people are like, how did you get a physical copy? That looks like an American physical copy. It's not. In the UK, for some reason, they got a physical copy, but us, we didn't get one. The Switch releases for some of these third-party games are weird when it comes to physical copies. But I think the game digitally is like a $40 game. Well worth it, and probably goes on sale a lot. That is number 7 on my list. It is very well worth your time. Number 6 is another very interesting game that I'm actually surprised I haven't talked about this, because I've owned this for a few years now and I have talked pretty well about this Switch port, but I've never talked about it in these videos. Very surprised that I haven't. But coming in number 6 is the Ninja Gaiden Trilogy. Gaiden, however you want to say it. I think Gaiden sounds better, but I don't know. Ninja Gaiden. But the Ninja Gaiden Trilogy is on Nintendo Switch digitally, which again, in America, it didn't come here physically, but it has all 3 of the 3D games. And this game's combat, I think, is very interesting. If you're a fan of that Devil May Cry gameplay style, or what I would call Ghost Rider, because that was my first. I don't know what the genre of this would be called. I know my editor, Coleman, is going to be killing me.
I'm Max. I like my stupid little Ghost Rider game that is a hack and slash. Nobody has ever played this game before, but I like it so much, and I don't know what the genre is. This is why someone beat the ever-living crap out of me.
It's in that genre, and it's very fun. I'm very surprised how well it runs, just because, I don't know, I feel like a lot of the times people screw up with a port like this, but Koei Tecmo did an amazing job. I remember back in the day of the Monado Max history, I thought with this game being on the Switch, they're gonna put Ryu in Smash, but no, I was an idiot. I think this is digitally $60, I think. I don't know, I paid $60 for the physical copy because, again, it didn't come from America, I had to import it here, so it was pretty expensive for me. But it's very fun. Very fun game, very much worth your time, and a very interesting storyline there. Graphics, it's just a remastered, so don't expect like a remake. It's HD, all that good stuff, and it's got 3 on there, which was a Wii U game. Another Wii U game coming to the Switch. I can't believe it. Very much worth your time. Go pick that one up. Coming in number 5 is my favorite indie game of all time. I have bought this game so many times. So many times. I own it on multiple platforms. I own it on my Switch. I own it on my Wii U. I own it on my PlayStation 4. I own it on my PS Vita. I own it on I own it on the 3DS, I think. I have bought it everywhere I could get it because I wanted to support this development team so much because this game was so good. That game being Shovel Knight. Now, if you are one of the lucky ones now that have never experienced Shovel Knight, when you buy this game, when you buy Treasure Trove, you get access to so much content. I know the game digitally when it's not on sale is $40. This game goes on sale all the time though. I know the Wii U eShop is about to close. It's on sale for like $4. You get access to the original game, 3 story modes, or the DLC story modes, with 3 different characters. You get access to the fighting game, Shovel Knight Showdown. You get access to so many things when it comes to Treasure Trove Edition. It is very much worth your time. You get so much. It is well worth your money because the amount of content that is in this game. With the amount of content that you have in Shovel Knight Treasure Trove, you got endless amount of content, especially if you buy the amiibo. There's just so many good things that you can do with Treasure Trove. This is very much worth your time. Best indie game of all time, in my opinion. And if you're a fan of those retro games, so I've never played DuckTales, but I know this is very much compared to DuckTales, Mega Man, those type of games, those level designs. You're gonna love Shovel Knight because the level designs are very much like that. The gameplay, the music is absolutely amazing. Well worth it. Go out there, support Yacht Club Games, one of the best teams out there. I love Yacht Club Games. Shovel Knight, one of the greatest games of all time. I'm gonna stop talking about Shovel Knight, but why is it Shovel Knight in Smash? Okay, this is not a Smash Bros video. All right. I know he's in Assist Trophy, but he should have been in Smash. Okay, he should have been in Smash. Going in to number 4 now. Number 4 is a really good game that I know my editor also really likes. Big pusher for this game, and I think this game is a really hidden gem towards the Nintendo Switch because it's a very good game, Coming in number 4 is Live Alive. Now, Live Alive is what I call one of the perfect games to play if you're somebody like me who doesn't have time for an 100-hour plus game. Because a game like Live Alive, when you hear it and with the type of gameplay or game it is, being a RPG, when you hear RPG, you're like, oh, 50 to 100 hours, I can't play that game. I'm sorry, no, can't do it. Well, let me tell you something. This is a 20-hour game, and it is it can be 15 hours. It depends how you play. This game is composed with 7 different storylines, with 7 different playable characters, very different gameplay styles. There's some similar gameplay styles, but like For example, there's a Western chapter and you're like setting up traps. It's really creative some of the things that you can do in this game. Different storylines, you're instantly hooked with some of these storylines. There's some storylines, but this game makes references to fighting games, the Western, like there's so many cool things with Live Alive. I know it's a $50 game, it's a recent game that just came out. It looks beautiful. It's another chapter in the 2D HD games that people have been making from Square Enix. Square Enix has done a good job, and this is the first time that Live Alive came to America, because this is actually a game that released on the Super Famicom years ago in Japan only. And last year, they made a remake, and the HD 2D remakes, put it on the Switch, brought it to America, and a lot of people didn't buy it. I don't think it's a very successful game for Nintendo and Square, because it's unfortunate, but they released this game a week before Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was coming out, so it was kind of doomed to fail, in my opinion, but it is well worth your time, well worth your money, and if you guys do pick this up, let me know what you think. Very fun game, and I know my editor Coleman, he might say some few words of how he feels about the game, because he is somebody that's very much pushed that game for people to buy.
I love this game. I love this game so much. It's so awesome.
I would have never bought that game if it wasn't for Coleman, so Coleman, big shout outs to Coleman, because he's the reason why Live Alive is in these top 10 videos. Coming in number 4 is a game series that is very special to me. Just wish, for some reason, I guess I can't say series because I've only played the first 3. I don't know why they haven't put the rest of these games on the Switch yet, because of how popular this series is. I don't know why they haven't made a new game yet, because again, these games sell like crazy on all platforms. I don't know why Capcom hasn't done this. But coming in number 4 is the Ace Attorney Trilogy. The Ace Attorney Trilogy is honestly, those games are very special to me because at one point, I wanted to be an attorney because of those games. I didn't pursue it just because I feel like the court system is very screwed up in many ways, but we're not gonna get all deep into that. But Ace Attorney, very fun game, very unique storyline. It's a trilogy, so if that's a Japan copy of the game, there wasn't a physical copy in America. But if you buy it digitally, it goes on sale very frequently because Capcom likes to put their games on sale. It's like 75% off all the time. So I think you could probably get that game for under 10 bucks. Get the first 3 games. It's a DS game. It's an attorney game where you're finding evidence, going to court. It's so good. Some very unique storylines in there. I want them to put the rest of the series on the Switch. They did a HD re-release of the ones that didn't come over here to America, the Great Ace Attorney. I think we actually talked about that game on this series before, but I don't know why Capcom hasn't done the rest of the series, because that's what people want. But this is very much worth your time. It's such a good game. Trust me when I say, because I feel like if you watch gameplay, it's not gonna look fun. It's a visual novel. But just trust me, it's really good. The story's gonna get you hooked, and the characters are great. Phoenix Wright, I love that guy. Phoenix Wright, coolest character ever. Anyways, number 4 is Ace Attorney, and you should go buy it. Coming in number 3 is another game that a lot of you guys were confused why I didn't talk about it in the last video, which a lot of you guys didn't realize that was recorded before this game even got released. A lot of you questioned why it wasn't on there. Number 3 is Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII. Now, I am still playing through this game, but I am very surprised at how well this game looks and runs on Nintendo Switch. I would say the one time that the game noticeably looks pretty bad is when you're in cutscenes. But if you're not in a cutscene, I feel like it's hard to notice that you're playing a Switch version of this, because they did a great job. I don't know if it was Square themselves that did the Switch port, but it honestly has me wonder how Final Fantasy VII Remake would run on the Switch, because that would sound like something that would be impossible. But if you see how well this game runs, I feel like it's something that could be pretty possible because of how well it runs on Switch. It's literally just the cutscenes that the game looks really bad. Like, Sephiroth's hair looks really bad in the cutscenes of the Switch version. But overall, the game is super fun. One of my complaints when it comes to Final Fantasy Crisis Core, it has this like little gambling system in the battle system that Final Fantasy VII Remake didn't have, and apparently the game was way worse with the battle system in the original. But I hate this gamble system because I'm so confused. I don't know what's happening. The battle system is kind of confusing for me, but I'm going to get through it. Very interesting storyline. Love the characters, love the voice acting. It's a very good game so far for me, and I'm excited for the next Final Fantasy VII Remake chapter. This game goes for about $50, so while I recommend this game very much, I would hold off just a little bit longer, because we're here in March right now. This game came out in December. This game is about to have a price drop, and it's going to go on sale very frequently, probably for about $30. I would say wait till like April or May, and you're going to see this game go for like $30. For $30, well, for $50, it's already well worth it, because it's a pretty decently long game. It's like a 20-hour game. For $50, I think that's pretty good, but $30 is even better. $30 is great for Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core. Highly recommend it, especially if you want to play the Final Fantasy series, you played 7, wanted to play the remake, but don't have the remake on the Switch, you don't have the consoles that have the remake, can hold you over for a little bit. A little taste in the remake saga. Alright, coming in number 2, there is some amazing looking third-party Switch port games. I think every time we do these videos, I say, this is the best looking Switch third-party game. Oh, nope. Next episode comes out. This is the best third-party looking game. There are some great looking third-party games that run great, games that look beautiful, and sometimes you get lucky where you get both of them where it's like, it runs great and looks beautiful. This game right here that I'm about to tell you, I think is an honest contender of being the best looking Switch third-party game, and I'm very surprised considering the other release of this game that came out on the Switch. But what game am I talking about? Coming in number 2 is Life is Strange True Colors. Now, in the last episode, we talked about the Life is Strange Remastered Collection being on Nintendo Switch, and I told you that the game graphically didn't look great to me on Switch. It ran great, but the graphics were rough, and I told you the reason why I believe is because they literally were trying to fit the PS5 version of the game, put it on Switch. They didn't optimize the Switch version at all. They didn't update the graphics. This looks like they fully remade the game to be on Nintendo Switch, because wow. I hope my editor is able to show it some gameplay of Life is Strange True Colors and maybe a few seconds of Life is Strange Remastered for the Nintendo Switch. There is a clear difference between both of them. And I believe it was developed by the same team that ported it. So I don't know why they didn't I don't know. It was really weird to me that they didn't put that time into the Life is Strange Remastered Collection. But Life is Strange True Colors, very impressive Switch port. Storyline is great. I will always tell you Life is Strange is such an amazing series. I've played 1 and I've played True Colors. I know 2 just came out on Switch. By the way, Square Enix, can you please make a physical copy of 2? Because you got all these other games that have physical copies, and then 2 is just right there, digital only. Please, Square, please, I beg you. Anyways, very much well worth your time. Very impressive, considering the platforms that Life is Strange True Colors is on. The one noticeable difference that you're going to see with this version compared to the other versions is when you're in a house or going to a store or something, you can't see the outside. They make it where the glass is just, you can't see anything, which is understandable because the Switch just can't handle that. When you're loading in the game, the first 5 seconds every time you're into a loading screen and then you're playing the game looks horrible, but then after that 5 seconds, boom, looks amazing. It is incredible what Life is Strange True Colors is. I am incredibly impressed by that Switch port. I think it looks better than Nier Automata. I thought that was the best looking Switch port. I thought Persona 5 Royal was the best looking Switch port. I thought Doom was really great. But there's a lot of good Switch ports. That, I think, might have the cake of the best looking one. I don't know. I want to know what you guys think on that one. Am I being a little bit too dramatic on that one? Coming in number 1 as a game that I was very close to having this be my game of the year last year, but Xenoblade Chronicles 3 took the cake. And number 1 is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. This was probably the most shocking release to me of last year of being a good game. I knew it was gonna be a good game. I knew when it was announced it was going to be great. I didn't think it was going to be good enough to be a Game of the Year contender for me. I played this game on my birthday last year and beat it on my birthday with my friends Coleman and Jackson. It was great playing that game. Endless amount of fun. The sprites look beautiful. The game's environment looks beautiful. The music is great. If you're a Streets of Rage fan, you're going to like this because people that developed Streets of Rage 4 develop this. That team is developing so many things. It's actually insane. It's I don't know how to compare it. It's so good. It's my favorite beat 'em up game. I'm a big Scott Pilgrim beat 'em up fan. I know my editor has some things about that one. I didn't like Streets of Rage 4 that much. I have a little bit of some issues with it, but I don't think I've given it a fair chance. But overall, very fun game. It's digitally like a $20 game. If you want the physical copy, it's like 30 bucks. I'm a physical guy. I mean, I love this game so much that I got the collector's, or it's like the mini collector's edition of it. I got it on the shelf right here. It's a VHS set of the game because, you know, the Turtles were in the VHS timeline. So when they released this game, they're trying to have the nostalgic feeling of, ooh, VHS. And actually, since I bought it off the Limited Run website, inside there's a Pizza Hut coupon where you get free pizza, so that's kind of cool. I already have the game, so yeah. But it is very, very, very good. That's probably a game that if you can wait a few more months, it's gonna go on sale very frequently for right around 10 or 12 bucks. It's gonna be 50% off soon. It's still a new release, but once you play it, it's a really good game. It's a really good game. Play it with friends. Play it with friends. Don't play it by yourself. That is going to be a big mistake if you decide to play it by yourself. Well, guys, I have been talking for way too much. Once again, I cannot thank you guys about how supportive you guys have been on this series. Can't believe we're doing number 5 so soon, because we did number 4 3 months ago. And if you guys want it, I really hope this isn't the end of the series, because when I make these, I'm like, they're not going to be great. And no one's going to want it anymore. You know, 5 is a lot. That's a lot. Typically, when you get more into the series, the viewership decreases. It just doesn't become a popular thing anymore. This has been extremely popular. And I have enough almost to make a number 6 so soon. So you might see another video of this series sooner than later. So let me know what you guys think. What are games that I missed on this that I should have talked about? And let me know. Let me know what your favorite game was that we talked about. And if you haven't already, check out the other episodes in the series, because I'm probably about to leave a mean comment. And I might have already talked about that game in the last episode, or the episode before that, or the episode before that, or the first episode. So definitely check that out. I've been talking for way too much, guys. Make sure to backslash that subscribe button, like the video, check out the Twitter, check out the Twitch. The Twitch streams have been very successful recently. We've been doing crazy numbers. We've been streaming like crazy. Check out the Instagram, everything. The Discord server, that's also been interesting. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.